It started as just another night in a quiet, dimly lit restaurant tucked away on the edge of New York City, the kind of place where no one expected to see anyone famous, let alone him. The billionaire everyone had seen on magazine covers and news interviews, the man whose name echoed through boardrooms and Forbes lists, Ethan Cole. But that night, he wasn't Ethan Cole, the billionaire. He was just Ethan, wearing a plain gray hoodie, faded jeans, and a cap pulled low over his face. He walked in quietly, trying to disappear into the soft hum of jazz playing over the speakers. The waitress, a young woman named Lily, noticed him only as another tired customer. Though there was something in his eyes, something heavy, she greeted him with a warm smile that seemed to pierce through the walls he'd built around himself. "Good evening. Table for one?" she asked, her tone polite but kind. Ethan nodded. "Yeah, just one." He didn't come for the food that night. He came for silence. For something normal. The kind of normal he hadn't felt in years. Ever since his company had exploded into a global empire, every word around him had turned into noise. Lawyers, investors, people who laughed too loud at his jokes, who smiled only when he could sign their checks. But here, he was invisible. When Lily brought him a menu, he didn't even look at it. "What would you recommend?" She grinned, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "Our steak is what keeps the lights on in this place. Simple, but perfect." "Then I'll have that," he said, and smiled for the first time that week. As she walked away, Ethan noticed something about her. Her shoes were worn, the laces frayed. Her hands moved quickly, practiced, like someone who'd worked too many shifts for too many years. But she still smiled. The steak came out perfectly cooked. He barely spoke a word, just listened. To the laughter from another table, the clatter of dishes, the faint hum of life happening around him. For once, he wasn't a billionaire. He was just a man eating dinner. When Lily placed the check down, there was something else underneath it. A small folded note. He frowned, curious, and opened it. The handwriting was careful but rushed. "I don't know who you are, but you look like someone who's forgotten how to be happy. Don't let money steal that from you." He froze. No one had ever said something like that to him. Not since his mother passed away years ago, when he was still the kid from a small town who dreamed too big. He looked up, but Lily had already turned away to serve another table. He left a $1,000 tip and quietly walked out, the note clutched in his hand. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about her words. How could a stranger see so deeply into him in a moment? He thought of all the people who smiled in his face, but never looked at him. Lily did. The next day, Ethan returned. Same hoodie, same seat. This time, he waited for her. She looked surprised. "Back again?" "Didn't expect to see you so soon. I liked the steak," he said with a small grin. "And the note." Her face turned red. "Oh God, you read that? I'm sorry, that was so inappropriate." "No," he interrupted softly. "It wasn't. It was honest." They talked that night, not as billionaire and waitress, but as two people who'd seen too much of the world in different ways. Lily told him about her younger brother, sick and waiting for surgery she couldn't afford. About her dreams of finishing school, of opening a cafe one day. Ethan didn't tell her who he was. He just listened. When the restaurant closed, he walked her to the bus stop. The city lights shimmered against the wet pavement, and for the first time in years, Ethan felt alive. But the world doesn't let billionaires hide forever. The next week, a journalist spotted him leaving the restaurant, and the story exploded. Billionaire Ethan Cole seen dining with local waitress. Cameras surrounded the small diner overnight. Customers fled. The piece Lily had depended on vanished in a flash of headlines and flashing lights. When Ethan returned, the restaurant was nearly empty, and Lily looked furious. "You lied," she said quietly, her voice shaking. "You said you were just Ethan." "I am," he whispered. "I just didn't want to be him here." Her eyes glistened with tears. "You could have told me." "Do you know what they did?" "The reporters, they followed me home. My brother got scared. I might lose my job." Ethan's chest tightened. He tried to explain, to apologize, but she just shook her head. "You don't get it. People like you. You ruin things without meaning to." She walked away. And for the first time in years, Ethan realized that all his power couldn't fix the one thing that mattered most. Trust. Days passed. The story faded, but the note she'd written stayed in his wallet, worn and folded, a constant reminder. A month later, the diner closed. Ethan found out quietly through a local news piece. It broke something in him. So he did something no one expected. He bought the building under a different name and restored it. He hired back every employee. And when the grand reopening came, he invited one person personally, Lily. She almost didn't come, but curiosity won. When she stepped inside, the place was brighter, warmer, like a dream she'd once spoken of. At the counter, there was a small sign that read, Lily's Diner. Tears filled her eyes. What is this? Ethan stood beside her. No disguise this time. It's yours. Or at least, it can be. I just helped make it real. She shook her head in disbelief. You can't just buy people's dreams. I didn't, he said softly. You gave me mine back first. The silence between them carried every word they couldn't say. Years later, people would still talk about the billionaire who went undercover for a steak and found something no money could buy. Redemption, purpose, and a reminder that kindness doesn't come with a price tag, because sometimes it just takes one small note to change a billionaire's heart and maybe the world around him.